Hey guys, this is Void of Dust Gaming, your channel for fresh Arena of Valor content, and today I've got a really strong mage for you. It's Liliana, a hero who has been affected by one of the latest hotfixes. She has become a little bit better and I think it really shows. So today's video is all about Liliana gameplay. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, please do so and help me to reach the 1000 subscribers. And if you like the video, a like would highly be appreciated. First off is the build, and then you're gonna see actual gameplay, me playing on the mid lane. Enjoy! Welcome to the armory, and you can see the new build because, as you guys might have seen, Orb of the Magi is not a staple item anymore. That means we're building the Boomstick, Barris Agony and the Diadem as the staple items. This is basically the core. It's working quite well because we have some auto attacks to throw in when we are in fox form as well, and as the last item we're using the Blessing as well as the Arctic Orb, giving us some utility because with the Blessing we can heal ourselves even better. That's especially cool if you're in fox form and using your first ability where you dash in a lot of attacks on a single target. That's gonna fill up your health bar quite quickly. And the orb is always quite nice if you find yourself in the middle of a fight and you just need a quick pause. So this is the build. The build order will be a little bit different in the video, but the items remain the same. For the Arcana, I have chosen my so-called mage damage build. You can see that I'm gaining plus 90 ability power as well as some magic pierce. We're going to have some lifesteal, which is actually quite nice on the lane to sustain a little bit more so we don't have to go back that often. And I'm using the Hex as I want to have the cooldown speed to kind of poke the enemy to death. The other runes or arcanas are Violate 10 times and 10 times Devour. Enchantment wise, I'm going with a mixture between utility as well as damage. You can see that we're using the Sacred Bead here for the cooldown reduction because we want to transform between fox form and our human form as much as possible, or let's rather put it like we want to have the form that we need in a certain situation every single time we need it without a long delay. I'm using the Holy Verdict for some additional magic pierce, and I'm using Holy Thunder to increase our damage a little bit further. And therefore we're using Lockheim here with the Raging Inferno to increase our damage. And I'm using Mark of the Frost to get this little nice utility that you're getting with the Arctic Orb as well. So this is the build. Let's see what I was able to pull off in the gameplay. So let's get started. As Liliana, I want to have my first ability always maxed first. It's your main source of damage. Second ability is strong as well because you are going to have a snare that holds enemies into this position. But your first ability is your bread and butter because you are going to poke, you are going to deal damage to minions, and later on it will be a really nice damage spell, but of course that's gonna take a while. So we are up in a mirror match, Liliana versus Liliana. So it basically boils all down to whoever is able to land his abilities better, me or the other Liliana player. And as you can see, Arta dives in quite much at the beginning of the game. So I'm running up to deal some damage to Kilgroth, but it's not worth mentioning it as I'm only able to get one spell on the enemy, and as I have seen that I'm facing Liliana with a lot of poke on the other side of the battlefield, I have decided to go with my boots first because I'm playing the Gilded Greaves. It's a really good item because, as you see, of the guys who know Liliana, you are the one who will be sometimes in melee range, therefore you might just get a lot of CC, or a lot of CC abilities will be thrown on you, and therefore I think, or I find this additional cooldown or like the effect duration decrease really helpful. That's why I'm choosing these boots over other boots. Like we could go with flashy boots, we could go with the enchanted kicks, but I just feel that this itemization is actually quite good for what you want to achieve here. Landing my second, and then afterwards my first ability is kind of the combo to go for, because you will just kind of ensure that you are able to land the ability the moment that you need it. And as you can see, my items and my stuff is not that strong at the moment, so I'm not able to kill minions just by one single spell. But of course we are at the beginning of the game and we know that this is going to increase. So here we have a really nice situation where we're able to get the double kill on the enemies. I was using my restore here for no reason at all, because I need to recall immediately, but I think that situation, which was actually quite nice, we were able to tower dive, and even without Necroth, I would have just gone in and tried to get a kill on the Telenas as she was so low, and becoming level 4 just helped to improve this strategy. So now we have the Arctic Orb from the enchantments, meaning we could now tower dive and even try to get back the focus from the tower to a minion. That's going to help us a lot. So therefore you are taking that over the Reaper's Blessing, because the Reaper's Blessing has changed. You will profit from this stuff only at the time between 3 and 6 minutes when you are within one game. And we are managing quite well to get the enemy away from our Valheim to save his life, because he was fairly low. And yeah, I mean, it's like this steer is quite powerful. You're just binding someone right into position, and that's going to help your team a lot to reposition, to dive in even further, or to just ensure to land your hits. So always check that you have it up. So again, I'm trying the tactics that I was using before. And as I said, we do have the cooldown reduction on our ult. And as you can see, our ult is up within seconds, and that's gonna help us to transform back and forth throughout the game even further, because we will be in the position to do that soonish. There we go. Next kill, not the bravest one, because as you see, Quillen was positioning quite strangely right into our team. And again, I'm using my abilities here to put the enemies away from us, to ensure that we get the Abyssal Dragon. The other Liliana does not manage to get any of her spells into my team, so we have the upper hand. And Necroth is now even able to get another kill on the Telenas. Destroying their marksman is always a nice thing to do, especially at the beginning of the game when they are quite low, because that just means that we're going to put them a little bit behind. And I'm building the boomstick first here in order to get now to Barith's Agony. Now I need to write something. So I'm calling a lot, as you might just know from my videos, and that's a really important thing, because it just ensures that your team knows what you're about to do. They know when you are coming to help them, and they will know what you're up to, because otherwise everything in the game isn't really that clear. Like sometimes you just have the feeling everyone goes in, and if you don't call an attack, some people are just kind of withdrawing, going back, and that can just leave you out in the open all by yourself, and none of your team members is there to put down damage on the enemies. Unfortunately, Chogna is able here to get out alive. That was really unfortunate, but we do get some damage on the enemies here, resulting in a lot of kills. I need to move out here, but as I said, like the really good item here, or the really good enchantment, is the one so that we have our ultimate up even quicker. 3 kills in the first minutes, that's a good sign. Like, I think her damage has improved overall. And now I need to move out. Like, I tried to get away, but all the damage from Quillen was sufficient. I think I should have not wasted my enchantment here. That was a little bit of a misperception from my behalf. I could have just not used it and save it for later, because I thought that I was going to die, and I wanted to try if I would be able to get out with my dash and the flicker, but unfortunately it was not enough, so yeah. In hindsight, I wouldn't have done it, but in the game I just wanted to try to make it work, and unfortunately it didn't, but sometimes you just have to try. So now there's a massive engage here in our jungle. Everyone goes in and out and in again. I don't know what Kilgrove does here, because now he is in tower range and I'm able to defeat him quite easily. I think that was a little bit too overexposed. But yeah, as I said, sometimes you just need to try things, and people do get greedy, especially kill greed is a problem, but you never know. Sometimes it just works. So I think the call was good here on the Abyssal Dragon. It was quite easy to get it without any interference from the enemies. So you should check opportunities like these as well. Always have an eye on the map and figuring out where to make a play. And I think pushing down the lanes has actually been quite good for my team. 1 tower taken from the enemy, and we've taken already 3 towers of theirs. So that's a good sign. Getting the Vision Bird here while Atta is fighting them, because we can, and they just started it. I could have waited for Necroth to come and get the bonus. That would have given him some stacks. Like, you should always try to let your jungler do the kills, because only kills do get stacks on the items for the jungle stuff. So that's always helpful for them. But if they're not around, just take your time and take these things, because it's gonna help you. It's one, like the Spirit Bird is one, or the Vision Bird is one of the only chances where you can actually get some vision on the game. And now I need to get out, but she's so mobile. Like, that's so cool about Liliana. Like, you have a built-in dash that's gonna deal damage. Like, how good can something get? And I shut down Quillen. I don't know how I did it, but I did it, and it was worth mentioning it, because now I've got 5 kills, and now the death stuff is going to start. Need to get out here. I'm trying to protect Atta here, but I think that was not the wisest decision, because now I've got Chogna in my face and he is able to deal some damage. There we go. Here's the ultimate. So now 2 items have been built, and we are up on getting the diadem. A really good item that is going to increase our damage in a remarkable way. Like, then we will get to a level that has not been touched yet, because it's going to increase the overall damage that we're able to make. And my team is a little bit lost right now, but I wanted to clear I wanted to clear the minion wave before doing anything else. And here we go. This is the 6th kill. I think she's really strong right now. Like, of course, Sogna was low, but now she is able to deal a lot of damage. And it's not only poke damage, it's serious damage that's gonna cost people's lives. And now I have the problem that I've got a Quillen straight in my face, and we were super, like, I was super lucky here that Superman was here to help. Like, really, really nice action. He was super smooth. And yeah, I decided to go home. Like, at first I was thinking like I might just make way and get to the top lane to push the lane even further. But I decided to take not the risky route, but the safe route and go back to base to kind of save my foxy ass. Now we've got that item, and then I decided I want to go with the blessing before activating the orb, just for the lifesteal. I just want that magic lifesteal to happen because that just means that I can survive in team fights even longer. Like, even if I take a hit or two, it just means that with 2 well-positioned damage spells, I'm able to get out and do stuff. And I just didn't realize that everyone was there from the enemy team. But I get my Biju bomb on them as a reference to Naruto, because it kind of feels like you are the QB and you have this amazing bomb that's gonna cause so much damage if it hits. But then the good thing is that you can evade it. Like, it's possible to evade it if you know what it's doing, but if you're packed in a team fight, that's gonna cause serious damage. So it kind of helps from the, like, you don't see crazy combos because I'm not a really experienced Liliana player. I'm using the human form most of the time to deal damage. But if you are a better player than I am and you know the mechanics a little bit better, what you can do is you get into fox form, you put down that bomb, and then you are returning into human form. And as soon as you use human form, you will snare them with your S2. And that is just making sure that your bomb will hit them. And that's gonna cause tremendous damage. Like, that bomb is so powerful. I don't think that you can one-shot an AD carry such as Talon Us, and you won't one-shot them because you will always have dealt damage in Fox form before. But it just means that you got a lot of damage, and it's gonna... Oh my goodness, that was super bad. Like, I was checking the map and I did see the steps, but my brain did not work fast enough to kind of grasp what kind of danger I'm about to face. So Quillen got me off guard, and yeah, well done. Like, what should I say? He totally used my confusedness and got the kill. So Valhein's back and we are on a easy Abyssal Dragon again. Like, another good call from my team. 8-4-5 at the moment, so I'm happy with that. Works for me. And I think what you can see overall is just the amount of damage that Liliana is now able to make. Like, I think she's one of the best mages in the game right now. And the good thing is she's really mobile while having a lot of power, and that's a really nice combination. Think of Toulon. Like, Toulon is another hero who has sort of the same kit. Like, of course, you don't have a Toulon form that you can kind of transform to, but you have the power. Oh my god, he's just always trying to get my ass. But as Toulon, you have a lot of damage power, especially early game, where you can get a lot of kills, and that just means that you are going to dominate the game later on because you will have the items before the enemy has them, and that is always a really nice strategy. Like, I need to get out here. I'm lucky that Atta was able to get a ship between me and Telenor's bow. And again, I'm using my items and my build to get back. And now I've got Ria's Blessing. So now you see the effects of Rhea's blessing. And as I said, that's some kind of healing source. Like now you have become a healing machine, because as your spells are always quite right. Like look at that, 1500 with one hit. Insane. That's really insane. So after clearing one wave and clearing one vision bird, I'm back to full life after I have been starting with half of my life. So as I said, like that's really, really useful. You don't need Rhea's blessing on every single mage hero. Sometimes there are items that are worth taking, especially if you are looking for more damage than utility. But this source of utility is a good source, and you can make good use of it, especially because your template on your S1 is so large, meaning that you will be able to get a lot of enemies or a lot of minions in that template. I know that my team is fighting, but I don't want this dragon to get anywhere near our towers. So I'm defending that. Superman is calling the retreat. They are able to get a dent into Quillen, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like that was again really stupid. I should have just walked out and retreated to safety, but as I said, sometimes people get greedy, and I was just not really paying that much attention on how many enemies are standing around. So I had Chognar and I had their 2 damage dealers right into my face, so there's no chance that I can win this fight. But it doesn't matter because the game is looking really good right now. 28 versus 18 kills. We are closing in, so they have only 3 towers left, and we still have 1 outer tower at the bottom lane. So now they're pushing into that tower. That was like, of course, the strategy to go for. Take the fight to where you want it to happen. And you can see that Atta is doing a really good job on getting the Telenas, but he does not have the damage. So that's unfortunate for him. But as the team works quite well together, Valheim is there to pick the squishy targets, and they are able to fight that team fight in our very favor, getting all the enemies in one single blow. And now we only have to face Kilgroth, and we are good. Kilgroth and Quillen, of course. But Quillen all on his own is not a match. Like, what Quillen can do, and he's not fed, like if he would have been fed, that would be a completely different scenario. But if Quillen is not fed, like he's not able to do that much. Like he can pick a squishy or 2 if we position quite stupid. But then if you don't, you have the choice, or you have the option to backfire, take revenge for whatever Quillen might do, and then you can just let him die without any problem, and he might just have destroyed one of your damage dealers, but that should be fine. Like, you should be all right, and your team composition should still be able to do something if Quillen is left alone. Otherwise, he packs a serious threat because, of course, oh my god, 2,800 health gone back with one single spell. So I advise you to take Rhea's blessing on her. It's just too good not to take it. As I said, I'm using the Arctic Orb here to get the tower damage away from me. Another double kill for our Valheim, so it's pretty clear who's going to be the MVP. Quillen tries his very last attempt here to save the Nexus or the core, but he's not able to do so. And this is a win for the better Liliana team. Not the better Liliana, I don't know. Like, she's on 4-1 something and I'm on 8-5. MVP Valheim, as I said. Win streak, 240 codex points, and yeah, good team fights, good decisions. That's always a really important thing that's gonna win you fights. I've got a 10, so I was the worst player, but 5 deaths. 2 of them should not be on this card, but they are. 25.5 damage. And yeah, that's my Liliana. I can just advise you to give her a go. She's really good right now.